Anyway, we are back in Lagos, where it's time now for stories that are trending now, and Olamide Odekunle is standing by.
Good morning, team. How are you doing today?
Very well.
Thumbs up, ready for you. Good morning.
I've got some juicy gossip or news stories, I should say.
Let's
I'm going to take it away. Good morning, Nigeria. I always say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes constantly on Nigerian streets. If it's a trending story, we're going to bring it on here and have some quality dialogue about it. In our first story, a viral video showing a long queue of National Youth Service Corps members allegedly lining up for akara and pap has stirred online conversation. People are talking about the treatment and the welfare of Nigerian youth in NYSC camp. Now, this footage was reportedly taken at an NYSC orientation camp, and it captures dozens of Corps members standing in line for what appears to be a basic meal. And this is a scene that many people online have described as both humbling and alarming. Now, some people are saying that it's typical camp life, while other people are saying that it's a symptom of deeper issues. Is the rising cost of living, inadequate support structures for young Nigerians, and the broader economic strain pushing even the educated and employed youth into survival mode? I mean, back in my day, we're going to Mami markets, we're big boys and girls. So to see people lining up for akara and pap is one thing. But I will say that once upon a time, the NYSC was seen as a symbol of patriotism. And these days, it almost seems like a rite of passage, endurance. You go through that year, and it really shouldn't be so. But then on the other hand, if NYSC did not feed these Corps members, it would be a completely different problem. So I'm kind of torn here. But let's take a look at social media. I'm going to take 2 tweets on this. Safety Cabal says, what is this person expecting? Rush the food without organizing and cause stampede. Big boys go to Mami Market and bounce NYSC food. Sorry, you. And Osage says, welcome to Nigerian social media where everyone is a millionaire. Almost everyone is claiming they didn't eat camp food. Who were those that were queuing with me at NYSC camp in Mangu, Plateau State for food? Classism is a very big problem in Nigeria. I mean, abroad, no one is embarrassed to queue for food or for school lunches, in quote. But in our next story, let's move on. Just 2 weeks after a viral incident where Chinese nationals were criticized for handing out cash to Nigerian police officers, another controversial video has surfaced. This time, it shows Chinese foreign nationals spraying Naira notes at what appears to be a mining site. Now, although the exact location of this incident is not known, the footage has, of course, raised valid concern about the conduct of some foreign nationals operating in Nigeria and their apparent disregard for our local laws and our cultural sensitivities. People are questioning whether these acts reflect a deeper issue, this perception that in a developing country like Nigeria, there's weak and their decorum is optional and there's weak laws in our country. And this act also violates Nigeria's currency handling laws, which prohibit the abuse or defacing of the Naira. We've seen many Nigerian celebrities and top figures, be arraigned by the EFCC for defacing the Naira. And so I think that this same standard should rightly be applied to Nigerian nationals. And China is one of the biggest investors in Africa's mining sector, and they faced many concerns about this in terms of the environmental damages that mining brings, as well as labor practices, child labor practices. So the optics of this, to be spraying money while these Africans who are working on these mining sites are scrambling for cash, the optics for this don't speak very well on these relations. But let's take a look at 2 tweets concerning this. OK says, Dear Inibehe F. Young, on behalf of well-meaning Nigerians, I would like you to write a petition to EFCC against those Chinese nationals for the abuse of our Naira. They are making mockery of Nigeria on Chinese social media platforms, and such can never happen in China. I'll take a look at one more tweet. King Premier says, these clowns live very average lives in their countries and come to Africa and feel like they're kings because of the white skin privilege. This is very interesting, team. I mean, Chinese culture is known to be very, very conservative. So why this shift suddenly when they come to Nigeria, this ostentatious spraying of money, while we, the laboring Africans, scramble?
They say when you're in Rome, behave like the Romans. Maybe the lens they sprayed in seeing Nigerian parties. But let us go a little bit further. That's just on the lighter side. The first man that was caught on camera distributing money to policemen, was he arrested? Well, we heard that the policemen had some disciplinary measures meted against them. But what about the man that was giving them the money? If that guy wasn't arrested, you're encouraging this kind of stuff. you know. And for youth, the youth corpers, maybe we should just give akara and pap the better name, you know, bean cake and corn pudding, you know, something like that. But that is very normal camp life. Everybody, I believe, everybody that had ever served in Nigeria had gone through that. So nothing big about it.
All right, to the matter of the Chinese nationals bringing the money. First of all, the investigation would be what is he doing at the mining site? Does he have the required papers to mine at that site? And who took him there for the spraying of the monies? Like Etoma said, of course, they would have learned that from politicians, perhaps celebrities who throw monies at people on the road and on the streets. These videos are on social media and these people see it. It goes to show that whatever we are doing, if we do not want people to do same to us, perhaps foreigners to do that kind of thing that we feel is demeaning, then we shouldn't do them and put them on social media. That should be the lesson for us. Talking about the camp life, I wonder if they are trying to manage the situation and the people there. We saw a long line of persons. We are trying to avoid a stampede for people to not rush. And if you've been to camp, you should understand that that's the life there. So what else do you expect? I think that we try to make a molehill out of nothing, really. We just want to make noise about issues. It is not demeaning anyone. People are there on the queue because they need to be orderly, and that's what it is.
Olamide, I tell you, if they bring Coco and Kose to TVC, I'll line up. Thank God I'm short. I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one on the list.
Akara is hot. I'm lining up.
I don't see any problem with that. I feel like where is our humility? Sometimes we just pick something and we try to make it look like a big deal. It's not a big deal. They needed to line up, or do they want them to fall inside the altar, you know, Coco Akara? So with that one, I feel like if you go to, I've not gone to camp in Nigeria, but I know how camp life is. You know, even in Ghana, there are stuff like that you have to line up, but that's for Wache, not for Coco. But yeah, moving on, let's talk about the Chinese people. I think it's high time we start suing them because it seems like they have a lot of money to, you know, to spare. The first one that did it with the police, I don't know what happened to him, but I feel like if that one was arrested, it would teach them a lesson. And if they continue, because they cannot do this in their hometowns, so if they continue, we should sue them.
So I should start with the Chinese person too, because these guys are beginning to, you know, flaunt affluence, you know, in our faces. Looks like they're making a whole lot of money, you know, from among us, and they still tend to like flash it on our faces. It is very bad. So they need to do proper investigation as to what he's doing in the mining site. Is it making legitimate money? Because it's now everything is appearing to me like Blood Diamond. You know, that movie Blood Diamond. You know, where, you know, a whole lot of shady bad things happen there. So we need to do proper investigation because some of them would be the machination against the peace and tranquility of our country, talk about terrorism and all of that. So they need to take a decisive action on that. I've been to camp life, and when I saw the video, it reminded me of when I was on NYSA camp. I enjoyed it. I queued. At first week, I was happy. I had money. I was bouncing myself to Mami Water. I mean, Mami.
Right.
Sorry, Mami Market. I meant to say Mami Market. And well, there was no river close to there, so I wouldn't say Mami Water. That's just a slip. So, you know, went to Mami Market. And after money finished, man, I had to go queue and, you know, queued for nice hot yam and fried egg. So it's just camp life. You know, you see that in military, you see that everywhere. And Olamide, I think I disagree with you that you don't see that abroad. No. With the rise of food bank, you see it in France, you see it in the UK, you see it in the US. During COVID-19, you see long queues.
I said that you would see it abroad. I said that people abroad don't mind lining up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, God bless you for that.
It's for orderliness.
Right.
Yes. We don't like really joining queues in Nigeria, so this is a step towards
progress.
Yeah,
everyone wants to cut corners. Yeah.
We love to jump lines. Moving on in our next story, the generational divide between baby boomers and Generation Z continues to spark public debates and sometimes a little confrontation here and there. A new viral video circulating online shows how sharply these worlds can often collide. Now, in the trending clip, a young man, presumed to be a Gen Z, is seen openly challenging an older man during a ride on public transport. Now, the argument reportedly began when the older passenger made comments about two women who had just been dropped near a hotel. He said that the young man said that he found these comments outdated and inappropriate. Take a look at this little clip.
People got out from the vehicle and you are saying that they don't know where they are going to a hotel. And if they are going to a hotel, how does that concern you? How does that concern you? Because you are sounding timid for somebody of your age. It is so disappointing. It is. People like you cannot even stand in front of your children to advise them. You are only good outside, talking outside. Go to hell, please, and burn to ashes.
Make sure you know where I'm going.
Go to hell and burn to ashes.
Today, this time around, nobody knows that. When you move from your parents, you know where I'm
You're always saying they are going to a hotel. People like you do not believe women can work and earn for themselves. People like you, your female daughters will be going haywire. You cannot stand and
It's very important for me to take because in the comment section you could see a back and forth between the younger generation and some people of the older generation. But I will say that these clashes in culture don't just come for the sake of argument. Both generations grew up in very different cultural climes, and I think often it's hard to find common ground or to bridge the gap. But there are better ways of communicating. I mean, to tell an older man, go to hell or burn to ashes, I couldn't try that in my father's house. Let's take a look at social media. McKinsey says, to the people saying he was disrespectful, okay, but me, I do not like the idea of keeping quiet and not calling out elder people when they mess up just because they are older. I've learned that age is not sense. I take it you're a Gen Z. Let's take another tweet. Emelobe says, it is wrong for people to think that anyone going into a hotel is going there to see the opposite sex. It is very wrong of that man to make such assumptions. If his kids are wayward, he should not assume that every other person is wayward. This was more than just a comment by that old man, though, if you ask me. These stereotypes we have about young women in our society have a way of being harmful to the rhetoric and the narrative surrounding them. You know what I mean? These girls could have been going there to do anything. But in our final story, I don't know if I can call this entertainment news, but concerns are mounting over the whereabouts of Nigerian music legend King Sunny Ade, as his daughter, Damilola Esther Adeniyi Adegeye, claims that the 78-year-old icon has been unreachable for weeks. Now, in an emotional social media post, she pointed fingers at KSA's manager and stepbrother, Dayo Adegeye, accusing him of moving the juju music pioneer from one hotel to another while isolating him from his family. Sources close to the family are also alleging that King Sunny Ade is being forced to continue performing despite his declining health and recent personal tragedies, including the death of one of his daughters. His daughter also accused the manager's camp of drugging King Sunny Ade with sleeping pills to control his behavior and exploiting him financially and denying him access to his own home and office. I will say that King Sunny Ade is not an invalid. He is 78 years old. I wouldn't say he's completely or even senile at all. But the family does have a right to petition a court and ask for legal guardianship if they do feel that he is unsafe in order to protect his welfare, his finances, his assets, and his freedom. But before I take some tweets, I don't have any tweets. I'd like you guys to please, you can give me some tweets. I'd like you guys to please chime in with the hashtag TrendingNowTVC on any social media platform. I promise that we are listening. As you can see, there's a shortage of tweets. So please, guys, chime in. Moving on, team, some very interesting stories here. We've got a Gen Z battling an older person. We've got a Gen Z daughter. I don't know if she's Gen Z, but a younger daughter also coming out to challenge King Sunny Ade's managers. The younger generation is very vocal, I will say.
Yes, for the baby boomers, Gen Z stuff, one of the signs of being a mature person is controlling your tongue. You don't just talk anyhow, especially when you're in public. I know saying that, yeah, they don't have anything to do, that's why they're going to a hotel. I think that was not a good comment for the man. And I want to say thumbs up to the young man that confronted him and called him out. It's not just anything that you blame Gen Z baby boomers. I really don't know the difference between Gen Z and baby boomers.
Gen Z, I hope you're here and see a baby boomer standing up for us.
All right. and so on. For Sunny Ade's story, I am worried. If it is a member of his family that's coming out to say, look, we can't find our dad, he's 78. I know he's not senile. I know he's still very okay. And for them to come out and say, we are looking for him, maybe we should look seriously.
All right, I'll begin with the story of the Gen Z, calling out the baby boomer, the man in the bus, saying that those ladies were going to the hotel for one thing or the other. I think that matters of approach is important when you are talking to anyone. How you approach anything and drive home your point is key. As much as he wanted to call out the man, there are words that he used that I felt that he could have done without in the process. I know you're vocal. I know you want to do whatever, call people out because they were demeaning and what the man said was wrong. But then you can still be respectful while you are calling out people. That's my concern in that video. He wasn't respectful in his approach. He was angry, yes. He was saying whatever it was. But then how he approached the man could have been better. And then for King Sunny Ade and the daughter asking where the whereabouts of her father is and all of that, dragging members of their family on social media, I think that she should also look at how to approach this matter with wisdom. Because if anything happens to the man, they can come back to point accusing fingers at her. And it also begs the question as regards how they have been managing the relationship with their father and other members of the family. If anything happened to KSA, King Sunny Ade, they will come for her, and she wouldn't want that. So it's important she addresses this matter with wisdom once again and get to the root of the matter without coming to social media. Get to the root of the issue. Then you can later come to social media when you have evidence of all the things you're saying.
Okay, and Olamide, here is my tweet. Ria_Abdul. This is what I am saying. But, you know, I agree with Veronica. The young guy, we are Gen Z, so we know ourselves. He was doing the right thing, but he went overboard. Now, they say, even an elderly person, you need to know how you speak sometimes. I don't think you should use your age, you know, as a yardstick for you to just say anything and you think it will go by because you're elderly. What he said was totally wrong. People go to hotels to swim, to eat. There are so many things. It's not every time you see a girl in the hotel, you think that she's going to meet a man. There are so many things someone can do in the hotel. For my young Gen Z guy, you did a good job, but next time, don't be so angry that you say words that, you know, are insulting to an elderly person. That I do not agree with. But also to the King Sunny Ade story, I think I used to hear his music a lot in Ghana. He's actually a veteran in Nigeria. I pray that the allegations are not true. And also, I think not everything should be brought to social media. Some of these things you can just settle amicably.
Yes, I think the family of Sunny Ade should rise to the occasion and be sure that the old man is fine, is sane, and then is being taken care of. Not that he's been exploited, to his own disadvantage. So proper investigation has to go there. I wouldn't blame the lady for crying out loud. I mean, for making a noise about it, because it knows that Sunny Ade has a whole lot of families who had met him, some who had not met him. I'm talking about his fans. So people should rise to the occasion and see what they can do to help the old man, if indeed he is in trouble. So the thin line between Gen Z, the elderly, and all of that, there are some people that they are very old. We believe that they are sage. We believe that when you have gray hair, certain characters are expected of you. But if you do not do it right, it does not behove a younger generation to look straight into the man's eye and insult the man or make the man look like, yes, I'm your age, I can talk to you anyhow. Even if it's your age. I think one person said, Veronica, even if you're talking to your age mate, the courtesy demand, certain respect. There's a way you can address this without having to shout, because when two people are shouting, both of you are crazy. Yeah. So because you won't make any point. The other person will be looking at, okay, let my own voice go higher, mine will go higher.
And the thing I see is that you can tell that the boy was really angry. But
he
then
was
again,
angry. Yeah, so there's a way he could have schooled the man. And operational term, schooled the man, by talking to the man gently. Not everyone, goes to the hotel to do any shady thing. But even though we know that sometimes, Veronica, sometimes when we are going out,
know what?
And then, when you're going out and then you see certain people, the way they dress coming out from certain building, you want to close your eyes, but you know that in front of you there is a sea. You don't want to.
I know what he's talking about.
There's a sea, so you have to just stay focused.
But Ibrahim, I tell you cannot judge people by their appearance and how they come
Yes.
I'm not stereotyping.
I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying that you are stereotyping your own eyes. Like, okay, the Bible says if it's that eye that will make you go into hellfire, why don't you do, you pluck it out? Okay. So just stay focused. So the old man should have probably stay focused
it's obvious the man is the traditional man.
Exactly.
And where stereotyping has been a matter in our patriarchal society. It's important that we address this matter of stereotyping persons, especially young ladies and women who have had to face this matter for years. It was really wrong of that man to assume,
if they see two men going into the hotel, what would they say? To assume
that these persons were going into the hotel for whatever it is he was thinking in his mind. People go there for other reasons. There are those who work as cleaners. There are those who work as cooks. There are those who are employed.
So it's important. If
I can chime in here, I just want to say that these stereotypes are very, very dangerous. I mean, over time, we've spoken about older landlords denying access of young female tenants, places to live, and access to equal resources simply because of how they view them. So these rhetorics and these narratives go past just this is how I see you and viewpoints. They can be harmful and they can affect the quality of life of younger women.
Yeah, and I think the female gender too can do better. Avoid things that will make people
in
look
what
at
way?
you. So I'm trying to explain. So avoid things that will make people look at you. We know the kind of environment
you can't help people's minds.
So I'm giving my own honest advice.
No,
Okay,
I don't agree with that.
An elder wants to speak.
Let's let the elder speak, but I don't agree with that.
It was a Freudian slip.
The way you dress most times is the way you are dressed. It is a maxim. It's a fact.
Okay,
but the issue here was not their dressing, but where they were dropped off.
Let's let the elder respect.
Let the elder talk. Let the elder talk.
Respect.
Allow him now.
The issue here was not their dressing, rather, but the fact that they had been dropped in front of a hotel. Those are two completely different metrics.
But if you allow some people
hang on, let the elder speak, please.
Sorry.
One of the advantages of being elderly is that people take it for granted that you're wise. So when you open your mouth, you better say something sensible. If not, somebody you didn't expect will do what that young boy did to that man.
Period.
I am so disappointed that the gentleman in a public bus could say stuff like that. That's why my first reaction was that, yeah, he got what he bargained for. But then, yes, the manner of approach and that the young man used was wrong. If he had done it the other way, he would have even made the old man feel small.
Yeah,
that's right.
You play silly games.
We'll leave the conversation there because an elder has spoken.
Okay,
and so it's fine now. Thank you, Olamide, for those stories. This is where we have to draw the curtains on the program for today. Let's let you know that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Up next is Your View with the Ladies, and afterwards is This Morning with Yori Folarin. Do stay safe. Bye.